the lights of your bond. A power like light itself, unseen for generations. A dyad in the Force.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of DYAD in the Force. Episode 257, the one where we're trapped in an escape room and we're trying to escape. I don't know what this music is, but that's what I feel like.
It's very plucky, but like, yeah, we're uncovering clues for sure. I got you.
How's it going, guys? Shout out to I'm a Spooky Kitty. I don't know why I said it like that.
Are you Italian now? Is that how Italian? I am a spooky kid.
I'm a Spooky Kitty.
I said it like Dracula.
I missed when this said it's going to premiere. What? Let's go, early crew. What's going on, Kenny? Master James Kenobi says car death of the Taloneth and hello there. No. You misunderstand. Now that this is a thing, Satiel is always invoked, so you can never win unless you get a Talon card tattoo. And you are currently a guest on the show.
I'm not sure if that works.
Shout out to Phineas McCormick says good evening everyone. Shout out to Darth Angel on the TikTok side who says hi and gives us our likes as always.
Darth
We appreciate
Angel,
you.
Darth Angel.
I currently have a poll up that's asking, is Grogu going to start a Boken pilgrimage in the movie? It's currently at 50% for both no and yes. This is something that we discussed in our trailer reaction, the possibility, but we'll get into that. We'll go into more depth as we discuss the trailer more fully with everyone in the chat.
Yeah, I can't wait to we had our little our reaction, but I'm excited to hear what you guys all thought of it, and as we kind of break it down. So yeah, it'll be great.
What's with us in the accents today?
I normally don't do them. I do have a couple beers in me though. I will say that.
Oh, interesting. That's great. Let's see. Goop says hello there, fellow Jar Jar enjoyers. I did see your post in Discord talking about the Jar Jar comic. And just like with all of your other posts about the comics, I am behind. Well, moving house again, so tattoo will be after that. Right on. I can't wait to see it. Just tag us in that post. Pep, thank you for the Badlands recommendation. My girlfriend and I loved it. I'm glad that you guys did. I'm telling you, I'm not lying when I say it was a bop. It's a great movie. Okay, so we do have for our mixer today, I did want to introduce a new segment, but first, before the segment debuts, I did get a comment on our community post from GameStation 2690, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to discuss it along with everyone in the chat as well. So, to get us started with this episode, GameStation 2690 asks, could you please do a video on why people hated Rose Tico so much? Here's what one person on Reddit said about her. So, as I was skimming through this comment, there's a lot of things to... This music is distracting.
Yes, it's really not.
It's like Quackshot. Hold on. Let's just go with the standard lo-fi.
It's like if we had subtitles on, it'd be like quirky music.
sneakily
the tension.
sneakily discusses Star Wars. Yeah, I skimmed this question, and there's a couple of points here that we can kind of go over really quickly. So over on the TikTok side, I feel like I'm playing a video game version of a board game. That's pretty apropos.
Is absolutely the music that plays during a humorous scene in like Clue.
Well, like I remember when we played like Monopoly Go, and it just had that like quirky music in the background.
Yeah.
But like when you play a board game, there's no music, so like the video game version has to give you that.
Oh, speaking of, actually, never mind. I'll I'll mention this afterwards. I don't want us to lose.
That was a roller coaster. Okay, so this person on Reddit about Rose Tico writes, I think it's because quote, I think it's because TLJ was a movie that was meant to deconstruct Star Wars, and Rose was one of the vehicles for that. She basically undercuts all of Finn's attempts at heroism, and not in a way that is satisfying, and is essentially the mouthpiece for Ryan's ham-fisted moral messages. There's more to it, but I wanted to address this point first, because there is a hell of a whole lot of internalized misogyny there in that first message. It basically undercuts Rose's motivations and basically says what she's doing is undercutting Finn's actions. But all characters have motivations themselves, right? So I want everyone to recognize that right away, because Rose is her own character, right? And just because Finn is a supporting role doesn't mean that the external pressures from other characters are simply to undercut his attempts. Like they're acting on their own, right? They go on to write in this premise, when Finn tries to rush off and save his friend, usually seen as a heroic move, Rose zaps him. Why? On whose authority was she doing that? Either she or whoever is commanding her is forcing people in what seemed to be a volunteer militia to remain in a situation of nearly certain death. And why was a maintenance worker doing security work in the first place? Choco, I'll let you go. I have some comments, but we'll start with that.
What? Okay. No. First of all, there's a reason that you would zap someone who's trying to use the escape pods to run away. Is because you need escape pods. You can't have just random people taking them and dipping out. You know what I mean? Like there is, you can pretend like this is it's now a forced militia, quote unquote, but like dude was in a coma, and you can't like, let's say, I don't know. I don't even have like a good analogy for it, but to me it'd be like you wake up in a hospital, and so you like steal someone's car to leave, and they stop you. You're like that's like a normal thing to do, but no, the hate for Rose Tico. The funny thing about it is, I also don't understand it, because I mean the hate is, in my opinion, comes from the time period. You have to remember, this is 2017, right? So we're in the throes of the Me Too movement. We're in the aftermath of Gamergate. And at this point in time, anything that is women related is going to get additional hate, especially if, they are a woman from a marginalized community. And the amount, like, there's one thing about disliking a character, but the amount of vitriol the character got was absolutely insane. The other thing is people who think she undercut the growth of Finn is also utterly insane. And I don't know why people can't comprehend that he didn't have a complete character arc in The Force Awakens. right? He was someone who did not want to fight. He didn't want to fight the First Order, so he stopped being a stormtrooper, but he still viewed them as this overwhelming force, and he was not joining up to fight with them. Even when he went back to save Rey, he was not joining the Resistance. He said, "I'm just here to save Rey." And does he save Rey? No. He gets knocked into a coma before he saves her. And so that's still where he's at in his journey. Where do we want his ultimate journey to be? Well, to join the Resistance and to be part of that team and to be actively fighting against the tyranny of the First Order, not someone who's only trying to save one friend and run away to the other corner of the galaxy. And Rose is a fantastic vehicle for that, because she's someone who has skin in the game. She's someone who realizes that this is not a fight you can just run away from. And the reason she realizes that is because the First Order destroyed her planet. The First Order, polluted her planet, stripped it for resources, and then used it as target practice and destroyed it. And then it was just her and her sister, and then her sister died for the cause in the opening of the movie. And so someone that she saw, people looking at as a hero, as if it was almost like for the fan base, because people looking at Finn like he's a hero, like he actually joined the Resistance, but he didn't. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but
I can cut it if you want.
No. I can go for hours on this topic, but at the end of the day,
let's kind of like
I think
keep
the fan base felt like didn't realize that he got cut off in the middle of his arc, so he's going to continue it. And I think Rian Johnson gave us what makes sense for the character versus what people assume. People would assume he'd wake up having finished the arc or something. I don't know what they expected.
I just want to, I suppose, go point for point here, because so they start by saying when Finn tries to rush off and save his friend, usually seen as a heroic move, Rose zaps him. Why and on whose authority was she doing that? And Choco touched on it slightly with resources. You don't want to give out your escape pods. You need them for an escape. And she was under orders to guard the escape pods. And this is also one of those examples of they're not watching the movie with us. So Rose doesn't know he's trying to rush off and save his friend. Her orders are to guard the escape pods from deserters. Right?
Yeah, also, he's not running off to save his friend in an active sense. He's not running off to meet Rey. He's running off to abandon the Resistance so that when Rey returns to where the other side of the beacon, the binary beacon, that she's not going to jump back in with the Resistance fleet. So it's also not like, I'm going to save my friend. It's, I want her to navigate somewhere else.
Also, this whole thing about like, it's a voluntary militia in the way that it is, a grassroots movement, but it's not like there's not going to be any, chain of command, hierarchy, or any given structure. Like, a militia is not going to sit there with people in the front lines and being like, holding off like an incoming force, and then they're like, but you guys can leave whenever you guys want, and then like the defensive formation falls apart. Like, that's not how it works,
And we discussed that on Andor. They're like, this movement is big now, so it's not you just come and go as you please. There's security risks and threats, and we're actively being chased by the First Order.
Why was a maintenance worker doing security work in the first place? They're hamstrung for personnel. And that's just the truth of it. They're on their last legs. They were attacked while escaping their headquarters. you know. So they go on Cantabite. It's Rose teaching Finn, you know, the guy kidnapped from his parents as a baby and indoctrinated into the First Order as a child soldier, about how bad war is and how evil war profiteers are. It's Rose teaching Finn, the guy who was enslaved by the First Order for all intents and purposes, about why animal cruelty and slavery are bad.
Yeah, that's a dumb. What I don't. I've heard people say this before. Oh, she's teaching a child soldier about slavery or whatever, and you're like, no, she's not. She's showing him that even here, you can't escape the ramifications of this fight. He wants to race off to the other side to avoid being part of this fight, and she's like, you can't do that. Even here, which is a super cool place, as soon as he showed up to Cantabite, he was excited. He was like, oh, this is kind of the place to be. You can like make something here. And she's like, even here, even in this desert planet that seems isolated, you look left, you look right, you don't see a hint of war. And even here, you are not free from it. That's what she's showing him.
But it's also not like those descriptors don't immediately assume that Finn knows all of this. Because he was indoctrinated as a young kid. Indoctrinated. That means his worldview is askew. You know, he may have been turned off from firing on innocents, and that's why he defected. But he has no experience in the world.
Yeah.
He watches the Fathiers race and he's like, wow, this is great. And he's like, yeah, but there's like slaves, you know, working down there. And so it's not, and this is why I latch on to people's framing, because this is where you can kind of, detect the internalized misogyny here, because quite frankly, the framing isn't what's happening in the story. The framing is it's Rose teaching Finn.
Yeah, as if the fact that she's teaching him is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you compare where Rose comes from, you know, a war-torn planet and upbringing, versus Finn, who is indoctrinated and just kind of like trained as a child soldier, one has worldly experience, and the other just has like this is why it makes sense for Finn to kind of like try to run away from everything, because like his first notion of any kind of friction was firing upon innocents, and then, you know, he wanted to run away from all of that, but he doesn't understand as Choco said, the ramifications of war and how far-reaching it is. And that's all Rose is trying to do, is contextualize, you know, why they fight. Do you know what I mean? I'm asking Choco. You know what I mean?
No, there's just a big difference between you know, I don't want to do this thing, and let me show you why this thing needs to be stopped.
Yeah. Finney says, regardless of job or rank, it's probably everyone's responsibility to stop desertion. I mean, just like Choco said, once it becomes like a huge movement, like it isn't really just like on a volunteer basis, like volunteering at like your local mission and be like, oh, I have to go, and then they have to let you go, you know. But like I suppose the stability of a movement rests upon the people's ability to rely upon it, right? And so like, even if it is by volunteer, once you volunteer, you have thus signed up, right? And so just like Choco said, security reasons, you can't really just leave and take secrets with you, or this information about where the bases are with you. You have effectively joined a military. And then they says, let's see here. Yeah, most people think animal cruelty is wrong, war profiteering is evil, and enslaving people is an affront to human rights. It's a little reductionist, even if you consider the target audience is 12 to 16, and people don't like being talked down to. Just like I said, Finn doesn't have a world view. He is rebelling against what he was put on to do, which was firing upon civilians, and now he's trying to get away from it. And all he cares about
also what that guy just said is wrong. So, and I'll tell you, his group is kind of the audience who watches Star Wars and then does not get upset when real life Temu stormtroopers execute a man in the street. Like, yeah, people think animal cruelty is wrong. Very few people do anything about it. That's the point. Like, you just kind of argued against your whole ideology without knowing it, but you'd have to be smarter to figure that out.
Connor says the last chapter of Cobalt Squadron was mad emotional, in my opinion. She has a tragic, background. It's not like you don't really need to know. Like, I'm not gonna sit here on a soapbox and be like, you should know Rose's background, but you should be able to discern that because Finn was taken from birth and programmed from birth, as Huck says, that he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any better, right? I feel like the way TFA sets him up is that he sees Poe, meets Poe, and he's like, this guy's interesting. It's exciting that he's helping him escape, and then he meets Rey and he latches onto Rey, right? Because they both share a common, not a common, but how would I describe it?
I mean, she's a beacon of light,
Yeah. But she shares in her eyes, she shares a similar innocence and lack of worldly experience. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kratos stupid all around, but Rose takes the cake. She impossibly undercuts. See, here's like that framing again. Undercuts Finn's heroic sacrifice. Lectures him one last time using one of the most idiotic lines that was obviously intended to be some deep, thought-provoking truth from Ryan, and kisses Finn in one of the most forced romances I've seen in a film that was done purely to push Reylo as the mini Death Star fires and destroys the Resistance last line of defense, framed as fireworks behind them, while the AT-ATs just sit and watch, I guess.
Like, this is someone who is certain at the symbolism of something, but is entirely wrong about all of it. That's what it really feels like more than anything else.
Then was it the other stormtroopers' responsibility to stop Finn's desertion? I think they were actively trying to stop Finn and Poe from escaping, just overall.
But
we're talking about desertion from the Resistance.
I mean, if we're talking all the way back on the ship, she's an engineer making sure that things like the escape pods are working, and at the meantime, she's stopping people from taking them. Like, I don't know, that doesn't seem so crazy. And if you look around on these Resistance ships, I mean, do you see a lot of troops guarding stuff? Like, this is what the people are taking care of that part themselves. As far as the scene at the end on Crate, and this is another thing that drives me crazy, is people like, the perfect ending to his story would have been if he sacrifices himself. And you're like, why? Well, first of all, like, the way we are shown this, and by the way, this is a subversion, sure, but the way this scene is shown to us, they are trapped on this planet. They don't have a way to escape, and the First Order has a lot of a lot of Star Destroyers and a lot of troops and a lot of firepower sitting there. So even if he had sacrificed himself, it would have been utterly in vain, and it would actually have undercut the film, because Poe's message, the thing that Poe learned, was that yes, there are times where you have to do the Hail Mary play, but that's not your first line of defense, right? We need to lead first, and if you'll only sacrifice if there's if it's absolutely necessary, essentially.
That's how, so, I mean, it harkens back to to his lesson in the beginning, right? He made the Hail Mary play, took out one of their I forget what they were called, took out one of their flagships, and he was like, yeah, man, that was great, that was awesome, and Leia was like, you just lost our freaking bomber fleet. And so, like, what are you sacrificing? And what and
it was immediately replaced by the Supremacy, which is a bigger, more dangerous dreadnought. So, like, even that, it was just an immediate trade. And so, like, that was his lesson. And then, so, like, that's part of it, is not throwing lives away. And so, of course, she stopped him. And then people say, oh, it was impossible for her. It actually was not impossible for her to catch up, because those things are not meant to fly. And since he was trying to fly it into it, they're slow as balls when they're not skimming along the ground. And she absolutely would have been able to catch up to it. Now, I do still maintain there probably would have been more destruction and how it was done. But it's a movie, whatever.
I will say I hated the kiss and I hated the line. But the line itself has a deeper message that resonates with me. I feel like the line could have been delivered back when they made it back inside, but like, that's just a story decision that I disagree with. But overall, she's not undercutting. See, this is one of those other tropes that if you watched film, you would be familiar with. It's the trope of the guy that steps up to make a heroic sacrifice, but they realize that it would be pointless, and so it usually manifests in like the person standing up and be like, tell my family I love them, and they pull them back down and go, no, you idiot.
Well, I mean, I don't. I know it's easy for us to point to like misogyny and just kind of use that as a blanket statement. But the thing I want people to understand is that there are many forms that it can take, rather than just I hate women or whatever. You'll notice that in these films, especially in the Star Wars universe, any woman that is not portrayed as some type of sex symbol, that is not there for the consumption of the men, are automatically deemed as useless and impediments to the story that's being told. And one of the things is that Rian Johnson intentionally didn't want her to be one of those. This may be where you disagree with Rian Johnson. I know, it's weird, but he intentionally made her original jumpsuit kind of frumpy that she started out in. He actually says this when you watch the behind the scenes of it, because he didn't want her to be that. And it's just interesting because, like, I don't know if you have seen, like, when people, I mean, I remember the weird artwork of Rey being half naked, like rubbing her ass on BB-8, and then all the comments were like, "Oh man, well I would have liked her now," and you're like, "I know."
Or the ones where the only thing that really changes is they made her boobs bigger, like those kinds of like changes.
And it's the same people who in the gaming industry are like angry because a single female character is not someone that they want to have sex with, and you're like, Just play the game. Is the game good? Like, Jesus Christ, calm down. So like that's the other form that it takes, is you'll always notice that if the character is not created as a acceptable trope, right? There are certain acceptable tropes for females to play in, and they can be the love interest, they could be, you know, the mom, they can be an archer, they could be a healer, what is like the slut, the Madonna, you know, the femme fatale, and like it's a very limited things that if they are not any of those, you'll see a massive community saying that they're poorly written.
Yeah,
and you'll never see any male character be called poorly written ever, because the male characters are allowed to just be, because people are different. Some people are like this, some people are like that, some people are awesome, people suck, some people are in the middle or whatever, and that's fine. That's just how they're written. But if the female character doesn't fall neatly into one of these, she's poorly written, and that's one of the other ways you can tell.
Yeah, and which is why I wanted to kind of point to the glaring internalized misogyny in this post entirely as well, because the automatic reaction is that she's undercutting Finn's heroic sacrifice without the possibility that she saves Finn. Like, you saw that and saw that she was undercutting a heroic sacrifice, but to someone like Rey, to Poe, to the people who saw Finn make it back into the base, they would have seen it as her saving Finn, right? If she arrives back at the base with Finn, and Poe sees him, Leia sees him, and all of the Resistance soldiers sees them, that they made it before the door closed or whatever, or they made it back safely. Who in there is going to react, bro, why did you undercut his heroic sacrifice? No one in the military, and I try and I don't want to speak as though I'm a huge authority in military matters, but if you drag someone in and you've saved someone, no one in your unit, I'm almost sure no one in your unit's gonna admonish you for undercutting their heroic death or sacrifice, right?
But I mean, that's the other place it comes in, is, you know, there was a male character that they wanted to see something from it, and it was ruined by one of these females, you know?
Yeah. Real quickly, catching up with the chat, Kenny says it was his 40th birthday tomorrow.
Hey!
I'll be back soon here. Just wanted to tell everyone if I don't get back to it. Well, happy birthday in advance. You have now joined the 4-0. Wow. This August is going to be my first in the decade. Let's see. Malik says, we glazing The Last Jedi, the best Star Wars movie. Let's go. We're just kind of reacting to a comment from the community. I forgot to mention I started my solo podcast on Thursday. It's called the Glorious Purpose Podcast on YouTube. I just had Riker Lynch on as my first ever guest. Would love to have you both on. Connor, we'd love to be on. Hit us up, and we'll make something happen.
Yes. Also, I mean, I still love the Loki love, so I approve of the title.
Alex on TikTok, Alex Let's Yo. Shout out to Alex Let's Yo. That's so funny. I made a vid talking about this literally an hour ago. I think it's well put in Hamilton. Head full of fantasies and dying like a martyr. But it emphasizes the importance of living and fighting again another day. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't, it's like, and also you don't like, the most important thing I want to stress, you don't have to like the character. But be honest with yourself. Be honest with me. When you see hate and like vitriol, and people are like, "This person ruined the movie for me," how? You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that are just
That's gonna be an OnlyFans charge, sir.
Some might see it as unnatural.
Shout out to Obi-Wan Kenobi for being a DYAD member for 38 months. This is the way. How's it going, Obi-Wan?
Yeah, great to see you.
Craig, hold on. Craig says, I would recommend that you have people like Ken, Kari, or I'm a Spooky Kitty on first because you're just starting out. I feel like it would be best for you to have more episodes first. Craig, Connor is a good friend of the channel. We would be happy to join him on this podcast.
I'll come on first and last. I'll come on again. I'll come on 6 times. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, let me know. What I was going to say earlier that I interrupted myself because I didn't want to run into another direction was I want to steal 2 games from Pod Ones.
Oh, watch that game.
I don't even understand what you just said.
What's the games?
No, you've said it funny. Anyways, the game is one of them was a Name That Planet game where they just took a screenshot from a planet, but it was just heavily pixelated. And so you got to guess, and if you guessed it while it was heavily pixelated, it was worth 4 points, and then there was less pixelation, and then that's 3 points, and then 2 points, and a 1 point. And I think that would be
movie in the first frame type of thing.
Yeah, similar to that. And I think even if it's not us going against each other, I think it'd be a great game for our chat to play. And so whoever can,
that's going to be an OnlyFans charge, sir.
And then the other one was similar. It was but it was the Guess the Sound, which we've done before as part of the Jeopardy board. But I do think it's something we could do.
No, I'm totally down. We would need to spend some time to set it up.
We would need to spend some time setting it up for sure. But I already have some plans because there's going to be guessing planets. There's going to be guessing which movie this is. There's going to be guessing what type of ship this is.
Something that I will...
Which Star Wars characters' feet these are.
Something I will personally work on is guess the hilt.
Yeah.
Shout out to Master James Kenobi for being a member for 20 months, a squadron leader member. I still need to pick a ship, don't I? Yes, you do. I also need to update the list because I haven't updated it in a while. Let's see.
I'm gonna upgrade. I might have to swap my ships as well.
You're currently in a Vector, aren't you?
Am I in the Vector? I thought I was in the Porsche ship.
I have to get. Like I said, I haven't updated the list in a while.
Still rocking the A-Wing. Fight me. Man, I've always loved A-Wing. One of the reasons I bought a Subaru SVX was, to me, it looked kind of like an A-Wing.
I also actually forgot. Oh, am I in a Fang/Gauntlet? I think I am.
Also, the way Will Lark talks about flying in his A-Wing sounds so majestic to me.
Will Lark.
Yeah. You remember in Alphabet Squadron how he came up flying on sky like pterodactyls?
Oh yeah. That also reminds me of, for some reason, it reminds me of Mart Matten, which is supposed to be Matt Martin. Let's see here. Kenny says, "Okay, I'm back. I did hear some of what you all said, and thanks everyone. I'm a veteran in this SH. Been here for the whole 6 years. Am I Unk? I'm literally only the beginning of the years of my 20s. I don't know if you're Unk. Is that like?
They do that on.
Is that the, like the new? Is that new vernacular now?
What?
Unk. Like I keep on like encountering AAVE as if it has now been adopted. Like,
listen,
are we gonna start calling Connor like "cuh"? You know.
Listen, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, okay, the person who said it the best was Dwight Schrute on The Office. He said, first we have to get the black people to do it to get the white people to do it. Then we need to get the black people to stop doing it. So you say, like, is this new? All of it is stuff I grew up with. So even like a lot of current Gen Z stuff is just stuff I've heard my entire life. And so it's funny when I hear like, oh, new slang, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna say
I also watched
6.
I also watched like a
I've been in
short.
this fight since I was 6 years old.
I watched a short that they were saying like everything black people say is the opposite of what white people say. So like a white person says let's roll, black people say let's bounce. I forget the other examples, but it was kind of true. Like,
yeah. You know, people say, "Are you up for this?" And like, I'm down.
Yeah, it's so true. Let's see here. Kenny says still rocking the scimitar. X-Core is rocking the A-wing. Yeah, I'm gonna make a community post, guys. Let me know your ships. I'm gonna update the members list for sure. Let's see. Connor says I'm Unk in terms of how long I've been in the community. Literally an OG creator. I suppose so. But yeah, that was that comment.
I might have to go back to the Stealth X.
Should I change ships? Jedi Smark says, when we doing TTRPG stuff, hey, I need people to give me the character sheets for the Dread in the Force. Malik, are you interested in doing Dread in the Force? Which is a one shot that or a scenario in a Dread scenario that I'm working on for the channel as well, but I'm still waiting on characters. I don't know what Unk means. Spooky Kitty says. All right, Choco, explain. You're my bridge to the youth.
I mean, honestly, it's not. I mean, I guess that Unk is specifically black people, but in like a lot of communities, anyone who's older than you can be referred to as auntie or uncle.
Okay.
Anyone who has some type of experience to where they, it basically is like, you're not my parent, but like,
So in that case, no, because Connor, you would have to be older than us.
Yeah, it's not the length of time.
Well, I mean, in this case, it is because we were creators before. we started this before you were. I mean, we were the creators of this channel.
That is also true.
So I suppose in a way you would be like, to others you would be senpai. Senpai literally means before me. So yeah. Best by far is the Jedi Interceptor. Scrape the Vector. I want the wild card. Yeah, you would. If Choco is actually planning on stealing games, then why the hell did he tell us all during this live stream? Is he trying to ensure his plan fails?
I mean, they don't own it. They don't own nothing.
I feel like the Padwans owes us for the on to the next one. For Land for Life. We are all the Republic. Although we've kind of changed it up a bit,
Yeah. It's all good. It's all love.
X-Core says Dread in the Force. No, Dread the TTRPG system. It's a DREAD.
Although I do like the idea of Dread in the
E.J. asks on TikTok, I know it's mid-production, but any thoughts, ideas on Starfighter? We've made videos and we've had podcasts in the past talking about it, but essentially, if we're going to, I suppose, provide our, I suppose, rudimentary or premises for Starfighter, I think it's a transplant for the Corran Horn story, a pilot who learns that they're force sensitive. And so I'm operating on the assumption that it lines up with the child in Obi-Wan who was escaping to Corellia, and their name was Corran. And there's some production notes that they were filming a lightsaber fight, and so that's where my head is at right now. I don't have a larger speculation as to what Starfighter is from a larger narrative standpoint. So, Choco.
Yeah, also, I mean, this isn't about production, but I was having mixed feelings and stuff.
Also, I think Starfighter wrapped.
But the reason I was having mixed feelings about it is because I only heard about Starfighter after Deadpool and Wolverine came out, right? So my assumption was that it was a reaction to that film,
Mm-hmm.
When I found out, yeah, she approached him and asked him what he wanted to do, but she approached him back when he was working on Stranger Things, years ago. Then I was like, oh, so he's been cooking. Okay, this isn't a reaction to something else. This is a legit, I want to make a project. That makes me excited for it and for what it could do. That gives me... I had very little faith in it, just because, once again, I thought it was chud bait, to be frank. But now I've I heard that line, and now I'm a believer.
X-Core says, there was a weeb-ass apprentice when I worked at a manufacturing plant. Used to call me Senpai all the time. I can only imagine, man. You should have said to him, Tamare! Damon Sosa Ren writes, I love Kylo Ren's TIE Whisper silencer. That is a great name for the next in line to lead the Knights of Ren. I love that name.
What? But I'm curious, which one do you like more, the TIE Whisper or the TIE Silencer?
Random question. Anyone seen this Tom Cruise film Oblivion? It's my favorite of his, and it reminds me of the Destiny games. I have, and it's pretty good.
I have. I actually, oddly enough, wife and I rewatched it a week ago, and no, it was cool. By the way, TIE Silencer all the way, but I didn't get Destiny vibes from it, but couldn't tell you what.
There's some technological Destiny vibes in it, especially the aesthetic. But yeah, you're right. There's not like an overwhelming vibe. Eaton Black says, do you think Ryan Gosling's character could be the kid Haja helps grifts in Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yeah. That kid's name was Corran. I'm currently on the side of thinking that Gosling's character is named Corran. I just made him fetch things like a bucket of steam from the boiler. Jesus. What is a bucket of steam?
It's what there's steam engines. Before that, they would shovel coal in there, and this one they shovel steam.
Jesus Christ. It's like, go catch me a pound of gas.
Yeah.
Like a pound of gas fumes.
Don't act like you never farted in your hand and Kamehameha someone.
Now listen, scientifically speaking, can a gaseous form have weight?
Yes.
Can it?
Can a gaseous form have weight? Yeah, absolutely.
Because it doesn't have mass, does it?
No, it has mass too. I mean, not much of it, but it would definitely have weight because it has different weight versus the air around it. You know what I mean? Like you can
Density.
So weight is gravity's effect on a specific object. So yeah, you can have a gas that is clear and see-through that you can pour into something, and anything that is lighter than air will float on top of it, you know?
I just mean in general in its gaseous form.
It is
Because
still weight.
because you know
Clouds
you said,
have weight.
Because you said weight is something, but like the part of the formula is mass. And so I was just wondering if like how much of a gas would you need to trap inside a small container for it to have enough mass where it would like register on a scale?
You need to ask Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Let's see. Choco, yo, you gotta stop calling him Chico, dude. That's throwing me off. Choco Pep, would you do a TIE Fighter impression for £5? I'll do it for free, but you can send in a £5 ramen drop anyways. But I would have to it would have to be like this.
That was pretty good.
I mean, it is just a scream, isn't it?
No, I know, but like I'm bad at sounds. You know, I'm good at music, bad at sounds.
All right, attempt it. I know you're gonna have to do the same thing with your proximity, but
no, I can't do it. I sound like an Ethiopian, actually.
Yeah, it was like a bark. Hey guys, welcome to DYAD in the Force.
Choco make a fool of himself.
Okay, calling it now. Mia Goth will be Reina Oscure. There's no evidence for this reason, but search your feelings. I think Mia Goth will be Mara Jade. I said it.
I do think she's going to be the stand-up for Mara Jade as well. You know, they talked about a lightsaber fight, and also I just think it'll be hilarious if the Force user is also a girl. That would just make me happy.
Also, I had a joke like when you guys were talking about the whisper and the silence, and I was like, I'd build the TIE murmur or the TIE rustle. E.J. says, what's the current headcanon lore that's currently trending that makes you want to crash out? Well, first I would
Ain't
need
gonna be no TIE silencer no more.
First I would need a list of current headcanons that are currently trending, because I don't know, I typically don't pay attention to headcanons.
Yeah, since I stopped going on Twitter, I miss a lot of the stupid. But if I can, one headcanon. I mean, honestly, just Abeloth stuff with Ahsoka.
That's true.
I really strongly feel that any people who are like, oh, it means Abeloth is coming and all this, I feel like none of those people read those books. I feel like that's something that you would only say if the only thing you know about Abeloth comes from Wikipedia. I feel like if you read the books, you would be like, that sucks, and that's really stupid. And it doesn't make sense, and there's actually very, very little connection to Mortis with that character. Well, very little.
I'm gonna call you EJ, dude. I'm sorry, E.J. EJ, help us out. If you have something specific, like a headcanon that you've run into that you want our thoughts on, go ahead. But I mean,
yeah, give us one that you like and one that you hate, and we'll address them.
But overall, like, just like the chuds, or just like my abhorrence to the chuds, like, I don't see myself crashing out over someone's headcanon. That's their headcanon. It's, it's something that they believe to be, so unless it's like a headcanon on a thing that's like there is canon on, you're like, well, no, that's just Jango Fett's not a Mandalorian.
Anyone that still thinks that Ahsoka is going to erase the sequel trilogy.
That's true also. If anyone's wondering who's blowing me up, it's Choco sending me screenshots.
Can they hear it on that side?
Yeah, I'm not on Do Not Disturb.
My bad. I just took them from each scene, and because I thought it'd give us a lot to discuss. So
I mean, I realistically should be on Do Not Disturb because I'm streaming.
It's almost done.
Let's see here. Make her gender swap Starkiller. That's something that might make me crash out. I mean, unless they change everything, like
no.
Starkiller.
Not gender swap, non-binary Starkiller. That's what I want.
Non-binary, non-form. just like Oberlin, just like a gaseous being.
Oberlin has weight.
In the soup. Rey is force pregnant.
Yeah, that. It feels gross to me.
It feels gross.
Rey being impregnated by the Force, like, is some dubious consent stuff that makes me cringe a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the same thinking, but I don't care if you think that. Just like I said earlier, it's just one of those things, like, if that's your headcanon, it doesn't really affect me.
Every now and then, from either Sawyer or Discount Bo-Katan, I would be sent the artwork of the ship Snalps.
What is that? Shit Snalps?
Snoke and Palpatine.
Oh God.
And that's the worst. That's the worst thing of all time.
At Connor Hockey Fan Super Shattered 6.77 Ramans. Dingle dun da dingle dingle do ding dilladin dong dilladin gong and giant.
And a giant.
I thought it was gonna end with angina. Looks like Connor is happy that
Connor.
that SH4T is back.
Yep. Not only is SH4T back, but their vocoder got an upgrade.
Yeah, shout out to Connor for the ramen drop. I appreciate you guys. Senpai. No.
Oni-chan?
No, I mean, to us he would be Ototo.
Okay.
Ototo is a younger brother. Imoto is younger sister. Let's see. Standout Steel.
Connor-san.
Standout Steel in the chat, catching a snippet of the show live because baby awake at 2 a.m. Catch the show tomorrow. I appreciate you, man. I still gotta give Choco his copy of your comic. I swear to God, we're gonna cover it. We're going to tell you how we think of it. But I would like Choco to read his physical copy. So. With that said, Choco, we gotta
That's gonna be an OnlyFans charge, sir.
Shout out to Lord Goov, who's been a member for 16 months. The current Star Wars comic arc wrapped. It was okay. Appreciate you, Lord Goob.
I just saw something here.
Did you?
X-Core says, do the blaster sound with the hiss at the end.
Which blaster sound? Which blaster?
My brain went to the oh my goodness.
I have like a weird impression of like the AT-AT cannons. You know.
You know what? Let's take a scene and do a a DYAD sound effect version of it.
Oh gosh. Okay, we can do that.
I think it might be cool, but we'll discuss that off screen. I'll put it together.
But like back to Standout Steel in his comic, we definitely need to. We keep on saying this week to week, but we need to hang out. We need to find a reason to get together. I think, is there like a new movie coming out? Mandalorian and Grogu, but that's still like a month or so out.
Standout Steel, isn't he in Australia?
No, I mean us, so I can give you the comic.
Oh, okay. I was like, I mean, yeah, I'd hang out, but
we could meet in the middle in the ocean. Sound effect of the AT cannons or the AT-AT cannons? The what? AT-AT cannons. I can call them AT-ATs as well. Like collectively, I call them AT-ATs, but that's an AT-AT. Isn't that weird? It's like I need more data so that I can analyze the data. I don't know. That's just weird, but that's how I speak.
Yeah, no, it's all about the vibe.
Shout out to KG.
Jedi Schmark says, a random girl walked into my job and said near me, whenever I get a boyfriend, I'm making him dress up as Anakin, and I'm going to dress up like Padme. Listen, boys, y'all are crapping to bed because like right now is the ideal time to be a geek. And as long as you don't suck as a person, y'all can clean up. Like it's crazy. I'm just saying.
Standout is in England.
Oh, you're in England. Okay, I apologize.
Standout, were you creating content back when Celebration was in London? Would have been cool to hang out. We hung out with a lot of creators from London. Or from England, as it were. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Spen Kenobi, our good friend Neve. Lots of people actually. Chico, advice of the week.
Yeah, you say that in regards to me saying that you can. Nerd boys, as long as they, go to therapy, they can clean up right now.
What is your impression of a seismic charge?
That's what I'm gonna go with. I need to play around with it. Listen, I don't have the vocal control you do.
Does it have an initial explosion? To me it sounds like wow. I think Well, I just got notified that I have a heavy delivery, so I'm gonna need to go and grab it really quickly. Enjoy the church
while you're doing that, I will. I'll give some more man advice. All right, boys. Also, the ladies in here as well. Feel free to chime in. But this is X4 knows how it is. It was hard being a nerd and dating back in the day. But like we've entered a world now where geek culture has hit not only the mainstream. It's the apex of the mainstream, and gamer culture is the same way. And people and the interesting part is there's a lot of people who are now coming out as having always been into it. These people were always into it, just no one talked about it. No one communicated that they were into it because it was considered a sub-community. But now with the internet, we're all connected and everyone's realizing that all of us have always been into weird stuff. Not only that, but COVID has made all of us a little weirder. So boys, here's the advice. 1, go to therapy. 2, get a full body mirror. And 3, be kind to people. I don't. I think it adds up. Yeah. What I think a lot of people don't understand, and sure, I've gotten myself into trouble by being too nice to people, but ultimately, what you're trying to do is you're trying to have people want to join your world, and they want to go on adventures with you. That's the goal. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about a partner or a friend. And so the answer is don't try to convince someone to join you in their journey. Be someone that they want to journey with. I think that's the most important thing. Advice on how to get good at skateboarding. That's just the grind, man. You just gotta, for me, and honestly, what board you use is going to matter, because sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not good, so I just bought this really cheap skateboard at Target, and you end up shooting yourself in the foot because it's heavy, it has no pop, and it's when you ollie, it's like trying to, I don't know. So actually, it's okay to invest in a decent deck, and then just practice. Understand that yes, you're going to want to learn how to do things stationary, then you're going to learn how to do things moving, and then make it get higher and higher.
Higher. You need some inspirational music? Okay, got you.
Can you take me higher to a place where blood man see?
I'm just gonna keep on doing that.
Just try to find gravity.
How does that go again?
Princess Dorcas is
defying
all my girlfriends
gravity.
And you know what's funny is you talk to the women who are married to nerds, and a lot of them just love it, as long as they are,
here we go,
not the worst people, because people are like, man, I wonder what my husband's doing. I know what he's doing. He's playing League right now. You know what I mean?
Here's your inspirational music. Keep on going, Choco.
Yeah, I can't hear it. This is an unhinged episode.
All of our episodes are unhinged. All right, so checking back in on our poll, is Grogu going to start the Boken pilgrimage in this movie? We're at 63% yes, 37% no.
Defying gravity. Defying gravity. Oh, I can't remember the words, otherwise I would. I'm sorry.
But you won't bring me down. Princess Dorkness says, all my girlfriends are married to nerds. Is that what you were saying you're reading?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'm married to all of the women in Star Wars. Or I wanna be.
Oh, speaking of nerds, so one of the things that my wife and I have done since we got married is we'll like watch an anime together, and then now I've started to try and commission art of us from said anime. And would you mind showing the chat what I sent in the DYAD Cal? I can send it to you again, unless you have it.
I have it.
So this is a recent gift.
Whoops.
Obi-Wan says, even Lady Proxima? Listen,
Wow.
wormy ladies need love too, alright?
That's just your forehead. Hold on.
Yeah. There we go. So one of the animes that we watched together was the Apothecary Diaries, and so I had artwork taken of us in that style. And
I was
so
like, is that a pot? Oh, yeah, I was about to ask.
Yeah, and so we already have one of us in the style of Attack on Titan, and I'm currently working on 2 more. And so yeah, we'll see. Along with this one, we actually got they actually made smaller pictures of our pets too, of both Thane and
I have those as well. Just maintain your holding pattern.
hold. So that's Thane.
Yo, why you gotta bother me, dude?
With this little green eyes. And then there's also one for Suki. Hey, okay, all right, dude. And so yeah, that was a recent gift, and so I think I'm working on one from Free Run and also one from Spy Family.
Nice, very very nice.
But she doesn't know that yet.
I would like to,
and then after that we're gonna do Young Justice.
I'd like to do one of myself in. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world. Because that animation style is very, very cool. Freerun style also. I'd also like to get a Ghibli style one.
Yeah. See, I wanted to do 2 as well, but like we haven't had like a true Ghibli like bonding experience. Like both of us have loved them separately, but not together. So I'm only doing ones that like have a specific thing, And I was thinking about doing Assassination Classroom, but I'm like, I don't know how that'll work. Would I be Kuro Sensei? That'd be gross.
I mean,
picture like how his fingers look. Now picture if they were brown. It'd be so much fun.
I mean, wouldn't you just be like a chocolate flavored version? Pat, what was the name of your Jedi you made up and cosplayed as Halloween 2020? That was...
I assume... I mean, his character
was it Kestrel, wasn't it? Kestrel Astray? Or Shin? It was it was based on one of my characters from Sator. But I think when I restarted with Choco and some community members, it was Kestrel. And I had another character previously that was like Shin. I don't know. You'll have to find the video
Kari
from it.
Says, another topic. Are we excited for Fire Red and Leaf Green coming to the Switch? I did not know that was a thing. I will absolutely be buying those. I mean, those were my number one. Yeah, I loved those.
If I
still remember being like, I wonder if I can go back in here, and then having to fight the Elite Four, but like higher level the second time, because I didn't know they were gonna come back and be more powerful. Yeah. And I was severely underleveled, and then my primate hit their Tyranitar with a low kick. I was like level 32, but low kick is based off of the weight of the enemy, and so I killed them and I leveled up like 4 times off of that one kick. It was fantastic.
This music is kind of equally distracting me.
You're a Pokemon Crystal girly growing up? Nice. Yeah, that was actually one of the very first gifts I gave to my wife was Pokemon Moon.
Rico on the TikTok side says, "Wow, I haven't seen you guys in forever. This is awesome. Happy to see y'all still doing stuff together. I'm excited for Mando and Grogu. Gotta be why." Do you still?
Also, I gave her an Arcanine as well.
Do you still do content on TikTok?
I have. I was actually today going to make a video to explain why I have not made any content in a long time, but I'm starting to I mean, the long and short of it, guys, and I'm starting to feel better about things. I feel like the corner is starting to turn. But the reason I started making content in the first place was as a coping mechanism during, like, in 2020, during, Black Lives Matter. I don't know if you guys remember this, but they kept finding black men hanging from trees in public spaces and being like, oh, it's an apparent suicide. And you're like, how? He doesn't even live in the city. He drove here to a public building. Like, what? And so I was having anxiety for that. So I started talking about Star Wars Online in order to. And that was a coping mechanism. And then it's been hard to make content lately for me because it's hard to talk about Star Wars when I'm living in Star Wars. It's not even. It's not even like it's like more than a 1-to-1 ratio now, which I don't. There's not anything more than that, but I just feel like I've watched Timu stormtroopers execute a man in the street, and I see people in our community, not our portion of the community, but are like, oh no, it's totally justified. Like how do you like Star Wars and are pro Empire? Like, it's crazy, didn't we all watch Andor? Remember when they used all these poorly trained troops in order to intentionally spark some type of conflict so that they could then send in their military forces, like, intentionally? Did we not all see that? Do not? Is nothing clicking? And so I'd start to make a video, and then I would end up getting mad before I could finish it, and so I wouldn't post it. And so that's why I haven't been able to do. I've struggled to make content myself, but I do see us turning the corner on that, where people are finally like, "It's Palpatine. He's the guy. I see him. Like, we all know this, right?" And like, people are starting to be like, "Yeah, we've always seen it. We were just like kind of scared or whatever." So I'm starting to feel better, but I've struggled with that.
Whatever the case may be, I'm always gonna keep Choco in the fight. No matter how discouraged or
the actress who played Dedra did a feature interview with Mehdi Hassan.
Yeah. That was a great interview.
You mean Pam Bondi? I've been seeing a lot of memes where they make her Pam Bondi.
I mean, I hate it, but I understand it because I have like a hear me out situation with Dedra.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, Choco told me this like months ago, if not like a year ago, and so like.
But the Corellian Stock Exchange is over 50,000.
But I as one half of the DYAD have been increasing my efforts to increase our content on this channel as kind of like a response to that, because I still believe, and I'm sure everyone in the chat can vouch for this, I still believe Choco's insight and voice is still of valuable and immense import.
Which I greatly appreciate. And again, I will be coming back to make more content soon. The other thing was the new job, but I had slowed down even before the new job, so I do have to fully admit to that. And the job is taking a lot of time, but I'm now like kicking ass at it. It's cool.
But even so, I'm always going to. This is the DYAD channel, I'm gonna drag Choco around for years and years. But yeah, like this is what we do. I feel like as well as like analogous things in the real world, I also feel like as a fandom we are slowly turning a corner as well, as evidenced by the growth of our community and just in general the stagnation of Grift Nation. Like, they're still big, of course, but like that's like a corner of the internet that they all share the same viewers. They're not growing. They're actually losing subscribers, and they're losing views because a lot of people have now recognized there is a ceiling when it comes to talking about Brie Larson for like the 200th time. She has not been in the media's eye for a while since Marvel, so like there comes a point where you're like, I mean, are we talking about this again? Like, seriously. And another comment that I want to address. I received a comment on one of my recent videos that was talking about. They were asking, do you think the sequels are perfect? Because it feels like you are always defending them no matter what. And this sentiment arises when you are unable to engage with Star Wars. The Rise of Skywalker ranks low. The Force Awakens is middling. The Last Jedi is the only title in the sequel trilogy that I hold in high regard. But even with that said, the purpose of this channel, Choco and I's mission, is to normalize being a fan, talking about Star Wars. And so I don't do my videos to defend. Like, the point of our discussions isn't the quality of the material. Our discussions is talking about the material. So when someone asks me a question about The Rise of Skywalker and I answer it, that's not me defending the sequels. It is me talking about what they wanted to talk about. If someone asks me about Attack of the Clones, which is one of the lowest movies on my list, I'm going to talk about Attack of the Clones. I want to promote a culture, a fandom, and a zeitgeist where the runway isn't as short as it was bad, it was good, I hated it, it was trash. Otherwise, conversations have really short lifespans, right? If you meet a person in the street and they're, oh, you love Star Wars too? What do you love? The quality of that conversation rests solely on your ability to talk about things that they love without reducing it to the quality of that thing, right? So, like, we just want to talk about Star Wars, like, just like we were talking about The Last Jedi earlier. This is not a conversation about the quality of the movie. We're talking about Rose Tico's character and, you know, how it was handled and how it was executed.
Yeah, I try to use and pick my words specifically, and I feel like there are a lot of people that just kind of run off of vibes and assumptions, and that's where there's going to be a big disconnect. You will never see any video from me or from Pep, for that matter, telling you that anything in Star Wars is perfect. I've never said that at all. Or, you know, I mean, I've never said or implied that. I don't think that. I don't feel that. You know, my favorite Star Wars film is The Last Jedi, and I still get mad at the beginning when BB-8 is plugging up leaks of electricity and then jams his head into it. Like, I don't even understand what that is supposed to be. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, but that's not the point, and that's why I also hate the idea of being considered a sequel defender, because all I try to do is, like, correct misinformation. You know, I don't think that's defending anything. I'm not saying you should like this. I'm saying that thing that you said happened literally didn't happen in the movie. Yeah. So yeah. I've never thought anything was perfect. As actually one of the things I do like to do in my conversations is talk about our least favorite thing from our favorite movie and our favorite thing from our least favorite movie. You know what I mean? It forces you to actually look into, I mean, I love perspective. I love other people's perspectives on everything. You know, I just feel like more and more, you know, people's perspectives aren't coming from the thing itself, but it's coming from different people's conversations around the thing. And, you know, this person will hate The Last Jedi, and they've spent 120 hours total in content that hates on The Last Jedi, and they've only seen the movie once. They don't even remember the movie. They just remember the stuff that they've heard elsewhere.
And by virtue, they have spent more time on the thing that they hate rather than the thing that they love.
You know, I had someone actually, I made a video on it, was like last year, but they're like, how come you're always talking about culture war stuff? I was like, let's see if that's true. I went my past 50 videos, and it was like 3 of them that did. And to whoever made the commented on your video, now I can't, you know, confirm or deny what they've seen, but a lot of my content is just about the prequels. The vast majority of my content is actually about the prequels, not about the sequels at all. But there's a lot of people who hate the sequels specifically, who will always interact with sequel content to spread hate, and therefore that is all they will ever see from anything. And that's the other thing people have to remember, is that they are cultivating their own, environment. They're cultivating what they see, and vice versa. If you see a lot of stuff that you don't like, there's a reason that's just showing up for you, and maybe that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, and there's also like it's a buzzword now, which I hate. It's a buzzword, but like it comes with being media illiterate, just like Choco said, if it comes to it, I am just correcting misinformation, but most of the time I am answering lore questions, and we're talking about balance in the Force. We're talking about why Luke does what he does in The Last Jedi. I'm talking about, what happened in The Acolyte. I'm talking about what happens in this show. And never will you ever see me imply or be implicit about the quality of that said show that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the contents of the show. And so, like, it irks me whenever I'm just like trying to have a normal conversation and engage with the contents, when someone comments like, show's still trash. Like, great, I don't care. Like, I wasn't talking about the quality of the show. I'm having a conversation with my audience because they asked me a question, and 98% of my content is responding to a question. And so that says to me, someone wants to know the answer, so I'm just going to answer them,
Yeah. Ken Kari says, where did it go? We said thank you, Andor, for making me like Rogue One, and that felt. That is why, like, when I first saw Rogue One, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. It was the only movie I put below Rise of Skywalker initially, and it's been my conversations with other people who love the movie and Andor that has changed my perspective on it completely. But those are the conversations I love having. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when it comes down to it, we're just talking about Star Wars. We're just being Star Wars fans. Honestly, people will call you a shill, a defender, and I clap back and be like, you're just a hater, because at the end of the day, all we're doing is having conversations, and I want to promote a fandom zeitgeist where our conversations have a long runway. Because, like, if I meet you in the street and you're like, oh, I love Star Wars, you're a Star Wars fan? It's like, yeah. It's like, me too, man. What's your favorite? And then they say The Phantom Menace. I hate The Phantom Menace. But I'm not going to be like, oh, that movie was trash. Bye. And then leave. We're going to have a conversation. Let's talk about The Phantom Menace. We don't need to our finger on the pulse doesn't always need to be whether something's good or bad to us. We can talk about it if you want.
Akil said, really? Lower than Solo?
Shout out to Akil.
Yeah, it was lower than Solo for a while. See, okay, so to me, Solo is just a romp, right? It's a fun adventure. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's a train heist. It's swashbuckly. You know what I mean? Like, I've always tried to like judge things based off of how good they are at being what they are trying to be, and I thought it succeeded at what it was trying to do. I don't know, but again, it has shot up drastically in my rankings now that I feel the weight of it. My big thing before is I didn't care about the characters a whole ton, and so yeah. Anyways, my perspective on it has changed. That's the long and short of it. But I also want to say my hot take is that if your favorite Star Wars film is Attack of the Clones, then you're a better fan than most of us. Have you spoken to people who absolutely love that film?
Brooke?
From my experience, there's like a genuineness and I see the problems and I love it for what it is. And I'm, there's like I can't explain it. Like they've been through the fires,
the crucible of
and they've come out forged as a better person than most of us.
I similarly disliked Rogue One, and I've been talking about it for the years that we've been doing this podcast. Every time I watch it, it rises a little bit. And so I feel like at some point we're going to need to recognize that our opinions on things can change. We can warm up to things. We can, we can certainly be lukewarm to others. But I feel like it's a disservice to fandom and your fandom in general. Not yours, but like generally your fandom. It's a disservice to take a stance on something and be completely rigid about it. Especially if you're a Star Wars fan, because there's a lot of Star Wars. Galaxy Master in the TikTok side says, I know one content creator on here, Nerf Herder, that absolutely loves Attack of the Clones. I don't understand it. I mean, I can understand to a point where I love Yoda and Dooku fighting, but that's the extent of what I like about Attack of the Clones. But I can still talk about it.
No, there's are a lot of things that I absolutely love about that film, though. I do feel like it was put together oddly, but to me, I feel like when I think of George Lucas, it's like that film is like the distillation of all that George Lucas is. You know what I mean? Like the grandioseness of it, a weird Shakespearean romance in the middle of like a befuddling mystery story, inside an arena that has weird vaginas all over the place.
See, the thing,
fighting a giant praying mantis.
Here's my, I suppose this is my hot take on Attack of the Clones. I feel like Attack of the Clones is Act 1 and 2 of what the movie should have been. And the first act of the movie was redundant. And 2 and 3 should have been 1 and 2. And the Clone Wars should have started. And the climax and conclusion of that should have been in the middle of the war.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's still like a very hindsighty thing, and like we just didn't, I'm limited by the technology of my time, Tony, type of deal.
But that's also not me saying like that would have fixed it, because I also need to do the legwork and write out that third act.
Yeah. But there's just like these collections of specific moments that like. I mean, there's a 50s themed diner in the middle of Coruscant, which I love because George Lucas grew up going to Mel's Diner, and so did I. And like, so he just put it right in the middle, and like, Dexter Jettster just became one of my favorite characters of all time because how could he not be? You know what I mean? We had a weird anti-drug message in there with offering death sticks and being like, no, you need to rethink your life, son. Like, we got, our first, we got the dubstep bomb, which, that sound, gives me life. We had a weird scene of Anakin and Padme playing Wipeout with... There's just so much like just random, it was raining super hard here in San Diego, And I was walking out to my car, and I almost had to pull an Obi-Wan. Like, we've made contact with it.
Spooky Kitty says, Natalie Portman's midriff makes it 9 out of 10, and that's why George Lucas put it in there for you, Spooky Kitty. But okay, so wait. Ian Black says, I still think The Phantom Menace is Lucas's purest vision of Star Wars. I will give that to you. I will grant that to you if you would also grant me that Phantom Menace is episode 1 of a 6-episode TV show. Because...
honestly, I've never thought about it like that. But that movie would have made so much more sense as a TV show. With the way its sub-stories are broken up. Where like we would get like normally we would get a 3-episode arc that was just leading up to the pod race. And it would make sense that this would be the focal point of what is happening here.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't be so jarring that there's no protagonist of the whole film, because each episode would kind of have its own.
Ian Black says, please explain further. Interesting. So, Choco really kind of just broke it down for me, and I didn't even need to like psychically or telepathically send it to him. Like, it's exactly what I was talking about. The way that the movie plays out, it seemingly, it's a
serial.
Yeah. And so, like, if we make Phantom Menace a TV show, and then episode 1 of the saga starts on the heels of it, that would mean that Attack of the Clones' second and third act can become their first and second act. At least that's my current thinking. Galaxy Messenger says, the one thing everyone can agree on, the seismic charge sound is iconic. Revenge of the Sith is movie 2, and then a completely new third movie. I then split Revenge of the Sith, right? Because
Revenge of the Sith is 2 movies. Truly, like even when you watch the commentary of it, they're like, okay, at this point it's like a different movie, but but it's really, but we don't make any mistakes from this point forward is what the FX people say. But it would make sense if it could be stretched out, and so we get we can feel Anakin's fall more, because we're told it and we do see it, but I think it should be like the focal point of the finale of a film. You know what I mean? So like if we got like half of Labyrinth of Evil mixed with the first half of Revenge of the Sith, I think that would be like a compelling movie.
Yeah, I see what you mean. TPM is like a prologue. Exactly. So hear me out. The number one thing that really irks me is the huge time gap that we're supposed to kind of fill in the blank for, from 1 to 2. If we make The Phantom Menace a serial of like 6 episodes, that means episode 1 of the saga literally starts off 10 years later. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we're starting with Anakin at this point. Right? And so essentially Act 1 of Attack of the Clones could be
another happy landing,
edited down to Act 1 and 2 being 1. Oh, I forgot about that.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, like the Phantom Menace as a prologue means that we are essentially getting a bunch of like almost 3-episode arcs that highlight a different protagonist that we are going to be dealing with 10 years in the future when the movies start. And it culminates with the death of Qui-Gon. Like that, honestly, that would actually be really good. I've never thought about that ever, and I'm all in on it. So similarly, I still maintain that the sequel trilogy should have been 4 movies. Either should have been 4 movies, or you squish TFA and you squish 7 and 8 together, and then give us another movie for the year before 9.
I honestly, I think going into The Force Awakens, I was already of the mind, considering what the MCU was doing. Not that we want to mirror or copy it. I was always of the mind that the trilogy format sucked. It hamstrung people creatively. And you need to write a story that could be told rather than write a story that fits into 3 movies. Right? And so, taking Choco's example for 4 movies, I would have taken as many movies as possible. In this day and age with the MCU, 20 movies into the saga, you take your time, man. Take your time.
Give us enough so that we get the full story, and we don't get an unsatisfactory commercial for another movie. You know what I mean? And I hated also because there's a ton of other movies that claim to be a trilogy, but the final movie was a part 1 and part 2, and you're like, it's not a trilogy. Stop it! Like, knock it off. Do you think I'm stupid? Also, I'm seeing some love in the chat for the novelization of Episode 3. If you have not read it, read it.
Guess what Matthew Stover's favorite movie is?
Last Jedi. That being said, we should get to the main part.
we should, but we have one more thing to talk about, and we'll probably, because this is the pilot for a new video series that we're going to do, which is going to be an offline video series. But we're going to start doing a versus series where instead of power scaling, we're going to talk about their personalities, their idiosyncrasies, and their style, and see how the matchup turns out. So let's start with Terra Sanube versus Jocasta Nu.
Oh, okay. We're going geriatric battles.
So this is the part of the conversation where I have to preface this. I don't care how powerful you think Terra Sanube is. I don't care if he's defeated someone in the past or showed a feat, or Jocasta Nu has shown. We're not doing feats. We're not doing power scaling. We have 2 old Jedi. And we're comparing their styles and their personalities and trying to figure out the likely outcome of this fight.
Real quick though, I just want to touch on I was Spooky Kitty said the sequel trilogy was a tug of war between 2 directors with different visions, and I can tell you that it's actually like objectively not true. You know, J.J. Abrams helped build the skeleton of what is the sequel trilogy. You know, he was part of the IP development group, and they had a plan, and they brought Rian Johnson into that plan. And J.J. Abrams was the EP on Rian Johnson's movie. They worked very closely together. The Last Jedi was written before The Force Awakens came out. They collaborated. Rian even asked him to change certain things, you know, for the film. And so like there it wasn't this idea of a tug of war just isn't something that happened. They actually were extremely collaborative together, and it was very active, their communication and sending him dailies and all this stuff. people like it was like there was like a surprise, and he didn't know he was going to do this, and he didn't know that he was going to kill off Luke. But like, no, like they decided they were going to kill off Luke before Rian Johnson joined the project. that was decided in 2014 before he even joined. You know, there's a lot of stuff that
it was George's outline.
Yeah, honestly, for Luke to die was decided before J.J. Abrams joined the project. But I digress.
So yeah, Jocasta knew
what. Sorry, real quick. He said, "What happened with Trevorrow, though? Did he have a different plan?" And it's interesting because when the announcement came that Trevorrow was not going to be part of it, which of episode 9, there was actually an interview that Kathleen Kennedy with Collider, and I could probably find it in post or something like that. But she has a full interview on what happened and why they decided to not go with his vision. And the funny thing is, in everything that I saw, he was not part of the IP development group. Trevorrow wasn't. And when you read the interview, that's what she says. She was like, Trevorrow was not part of our original conversations about where we wanted this thing to go. And his vision just didn't align with that. Not to mention he was busy with his, he was working on Jurassic Park films at the same time. And so it just wasn't going to come together in time. And so, yeah.
It was creative differences. That's all.
But yeah, you can find that interview, and she like literally explains the whole thing. It's not even a secret.
And if you think about it, that was also part of the plan.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a plan, they wouldn't have changed directors.
Yeah. She literally is like, what he wanted to do was not in the same realm as our original plans for the story. And I do like to point out that interview is before episode 9 came out, because some people will hear me say that and be like, "Oh, they just said that is because of the backlash." And like, nope, there was no backlash yet.
All right. Let's decide this thing in 8
Tara
minutes.
Sinube versus Jocasta Nu. Honestly, I'm going with Jocasta as my girl. Yeah. I'll start with that. I do have more, but I want you to kind of say who you're thinking. And
I don't know if I have a winner picked right now. I have been reading chats messages about it, and who they've picked, and I'm thinking about, like, Jocasta has a certain level of ferocity that shows, like, she's very as a librarian, she's very quiet and very reserved, but like when the Jedi Temple's under attack, you best believe she was an ardent defender.
Yeah, she whipped out the blicky.
And Tara Sinube, he's equally reserved, very quiet, very patient, and like one of the lessons
He's
of
very
that
methodical.
Yeah, one of the lessons of that episode with Ahsoka was like, I'm not going to chase these girls. I'm going to find the path of least resistance, going to wait right here and cut them off. So there's an air of like strategy with Tara. But
what is the saying? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. What is it?
I think it was just that. Slow is smooth and smooth is slow.
No, it's a driving phrase, right? Because if you when you're in like driving sims, you are being really careful, but by not overextending, you're gonna shorten your times.
I feel like okay, do you think the fight would come down to their choice of weaponry then? Because we're not talking about feats. We're not talking about, power levels here. But like, I have like there's an implicit feeling that Tara Sinube, especially the way he handled I forget the girl's name, but the way he handled that situation on the train, he comes off as a duelist. Like very calculated, very, no wasted movements in his style. Whereas Jocasta, I don't really know what her style is, except for when she takes out the blaster saber, and just goes ham.
So, what I am kind of going with myself, and admittedly, it's not like a fair comparison, but one of them faced Vader and lived to fight another day. The other one is frozen at the
That's true. that would
be
be
Inquisitorious, but
would be semi-feat.
We don't know the story. Yeah. What I think is that the advantages of the characters are shared, right? There's the slow, methodical, of not making a mistake is going to be a shared component between both of them, and I think that's really Tara's advantage, right? And so if he loses that advantage against someone, I'm giving Jocasta the curiosity and the quick on her feet, that we saw with
That's
her
true.
trying to fight with Vader. I'm going to give that to her.
All right, so let's game out this fight. What exactly happens? I say Tara. I think Tara is gonna stand there and wait for her to open things up. I think.
Oh yeah, no, they have a straight like classic
Standoff?
samurai duel of they're just like, it's just like in slow footsies.
Yeah.
Slow stance movements, and then
I think so. I agree with you. I think that there's this kind of standoff, but like the way she treats Obi-Wan when he's like researching shows a bit of impatience. So I think that like they both stand off and they're like staring at each other, and Tara's like, I can do this all day, just to say, just as an opener, and Jocasta gets a little bit impatient, and she's like, I have like librarian things to do, right? So then her opener is literally sigh, take out the blaster, and just start shooting at Tara. I think Tara has a good chance of dodging all of that. But then I think her long range draws him in, and so thus begins a lightsaber duel. And I think that's where her ferocity wins out in this scenario. Now that we've, unless you have something different in mind, now let us know, chat. Just leave one word. Jocasta or Tara, and I'd like to see if we can kind of like get a consensus.
Yeah, my mind goes to Jocasta, but we can say go either way. Let me see if I can find more about his species, because his species also doesn't feel like it.
It's fast.
Yeah, like he's got big hands, but I don't know if he can.
Because like
has a lot of strength or speed, or like he's got weird like elephant feet, if I remember correctly.
The other way I can see this swinging is that she opens up with blasters, and he deflects all of them and destroys her blaster. Because that's one of the weaknesses of having a blaster, is that a lightsaber can deflect it. That's also weird. I think Vader deflected it, right? I was trying to think whether or not the lightsaber blaster could be deflected.
I'm sure it can be, but also, you are more often than not, the people shooting it are not also capable of deflecting lightsabers.
That's true. So on the other hand, I also think that if she were to open up with the blaster,
another happy landing.
Hey, thank you for the subscription. I gotta increase that font size.
I'm also gonna give it to Jocasta because I just looked it up. His feet are disgusting. He's got the weirdest cankles. I hate it.
Do we know if he really is fast? Because I truly think that, like, even though it was part of the lesson, I think Tara also displayed or leaned towards that strategy because he wasn't fast.
Yeah, it struck me as a response to limitations, not a specific choice. KG, look at him. Look him up. He's got cankles and they're gross. I'm sorry. I sent you a picture. Can you pull it up?
This is like borderline like gore porn.
I don't want to look at him. Search your feelings. Look at him. Look at it. Can you raise it a little bit? It's gross. I'm just saying he's not getting a lot of mobility out of that ankle. You know what I mean? He's not.
I mean, Yoda.
He's not doing any.
Yoda's pretty fast.
Any mobility drills? That's all I'm saying.
Yoda's pretty fast, and he's got like a what is that? A 3-toe situation. I don't want to look at him.
He might have a strong kick. Maybe if his cankles do something like Luffy, where they're like.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything indicating that Tara Sinube has speed. Like, I'm not talking about feats. I'm just talking about, like...
Don't mention feats.
I'm not talking about their strength, speed, feet. Gosh, you've literally ruined this. I'm talking about whether we've actually seen him move quickly. And we've seen Jocasta Nu escape Vader.
She survived Order 66 and she escaped Vader's return.
Yeah, I might have to give this to Jocasta Nu then. I mean, if it comes down to his ability to dodge her saber blaster and then being drawn into a close range fight, the only thing that really truly I can give to Tara is his lightsaber skill. But you know, I'm also thinking about the comic where Mace sends Prosit Dibs to the library. And so I'm like, is Jocasta there because she's a badass, or is she there because she wants to be there? So like,
she's half librarian, half jailer.
Yeah. I mean, if she was just straight up librarian and she has a lightsaber implement that like allows it to shoot at long ranges, like that's not just a straight up librarian. I feel like there's something hidden about Jocasta that is a ferocity with which the council could only rein it in by just sending her to the library. I like to imagine that when they sent Prasa Dibs to the library to reflect, he saw Jocasta there. He was like, "Oh crap, it's her."
It's possible though she's also survived just because of like the mental aspect of like, this is the librarian who was always hitting my knuckles with the ruler. You know what I mean? Like there are things I can beat my little brother at, but it's only because I'm his older brother. Like he's better. Like that's not even it's not even a thing.
Lord Goop says, "Well, he wasn't fast enough to dodge because becoming encased in resin." That's true. I think we're giving this to Jocasta Nu then, right?
Yep, I think so.
Okay. Well, that's just a pilot for a new video series. We're obviously going to go more in depth with our videos on this moving forward when we do them offline. But that was just a taste of like what we were going to release here in the future. And just to whet your guys' appetites, another matchup that was requested for this series was Grievous versus Empire Strikes Back Luke.
Oh, I feel like that's mean. Is that we're going to talk about that now?
No, we're not. I'm just
okay.
As one of the matchups that was requested.
But we can talk about that one next week.
We're gonna do it on the video. We're gonna make a video on it. All right, let's move on to our main topic: Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, they just released a trailer. Hope everyone here has seen it. Otherwise, you're in for one massive spoiler show. My excitement has been piqued. It's gone from a 6 to a 7 to now a 9.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on it. From what I've seen, a lot of my worries were assuaged by the most recent trailer. But again, we made our reaction video, so you can definitely check that out. But I'm very curious on how you guys feel about it. Because plus we just did a reaction. We didn't really do a deep dive into things.
We broke it down frame by frame, but yeah. I have some of the screenshots from the trailer if you want to lead this conversation. So the first one we're going to look at from the trailer is
yeah, I mean, this is not the 6-7. We got a lot more. This is the cinematic feel that I thought we were missing.
Yeah.
Before,
it truly separates its like filming quality from a TV show.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
There's also like an air of like Highway to the Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. Just I feel like that's Oh, and I also didn't recognize. Is that also the Razor Crest? It's like a couple of X-wings.
No, that's a Y-wing.
Oh, okay.
I think.
You know what? If it were the Razor, unless it's further in the back, if it were a Razor Crest, the cargo and the fuselage would be a lot bigger. I'm glad Grogu seems to have more story. Everything the light touches. Everything the light touches. Which goes into our poll. Is Grogu going to start a Boken pilgrimage in the movie? 65% of you said yes. 35% of you said no. And we'll be talking about that in our coverage right now. By the way, if you guys want to help support the channel, the best way to do so always is to leave a like on the stream if you like it. So don't forget to deploy the likes.
From the day we arrived on this planet,
as you sing that,
stepped into the sun. There's more to see. We still got little Grogu. He's still pushing buttons, And I think episode 3 ended with us trying to establish a new status quo, right? And we don't know what that is currently.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that we do kind of have some things don't change, but we're still going to go on a journey.
We're going on a trip. And then, of course, there's this. We have a returned Razor Crest. Not returned, a new one.
Yeah. So how do you guys in the chat feel about the Razor Crest coming back? Because, it was torn to shreds, I say. It was destroyed. The only thing that remained was the Beskar spear. So
yeah,
he had to go out and find a new one. I still maintain that it's the equivalent of a Volkswagen Vanagon.
Vanagon?
Yeah, where it's like
was it a van first and then a van again?
But you can swap in the engine from a Subaru SVX, the flat 6, and it just works. There's only so much you can do with an N1, which I get, but I like the N1, and I feel like I wanted to see a different ship, to give us a new third ship where, maybe his N1 can like fit inside it or something.
That's true. That's a good idea also. But I also think that this Razor Crest. So if you watch our reaction, we also had our senior correspondent to the Stars, Cal, on for the reaction, who said this might be also like a sign-on bonus for him doing work for the New Republic, as shown in the trailer. Sigourney Weaver's character is giving him a card, and he's like, I'm gonna go after all of the bad cards in your deck. And so it might have been a sign-on bonus, like give him the Razor Crest so he has some cargo, either to bring some people in or to help with that endeavor. And so
which obviously it could be, but I just mean, like, there's a lot of ships that can hold cargo. Now, the Razor Crest was unique in the fact that it was old enough that it wouldn't need to register certain codes, right? That's why it was trying to be used for that one Prison Break episode, and so maybe that becomes part of it, and that would make sense. I just feel like it almost feels regressive. You know what I mean? It almost feels like when you saw the Fox X-Men movies and how every single movie was about Mystique learning to love herself, as her blue form. And then every time we go to the next movie, she'd be a human the entire time. And it would have to, like, that feels regressive, or like, Din trying to bathe himself in the water so that he can become a Mandalorian again. And then now, so we see him take off the helmet. Does he have to do it again? Is he okay with taking his helmet off? Is he not? Where we landing with this? There's a couple things I have faith will get addressed. That he's doing a new status quo. I just kind of wish that he would have that would have been made kind of more apparent. That, like,
that's gonna be
in his journey to purify his soul and by bathing in Lake Minnetonka.
Shout out to Ian Black. Thank you for joining the DYAD Squadron and becoming a member.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Welcome. You have to pick what ship you're going to be in.
It's a Razor Crest, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the second Razor Crest with the yellow lines. No, I would have just loved more variety. That's all.
It's understandable. I think it would have been equally as cathartic to end season 3 where he's at the edifice with Grogu. Grogu's playing, and then he starts laughing, ha ha ha, takes off his helmet, and just kind of like shows an acceptance for Bo-Katan's style of Mandalorian. He's like, I don't need to worry about this anymore. And then the armorer shows up, and they have. I'm just kidding. Anyways, we got an Ardanian. I just like filling up the screen instead of having. I know it's stretched, but I don't like that it's not.
Now that I know that, I will in the future. what images? But yeah, well, I mean, this is our opening scene with the Ardanian, and he's looking for a hut and decides to close up.
You know what's funny? Looking at these panini presses and then that panini sandwich, that's coming to Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, I hope so.
I want a panini at Galaxy's Edge. And then he closes up.
Did you guys see the Ardanian is Martin Scorsese?
And it looks like Martin Scorsese.
That is Marty's voice. That makes sense. I believe it.
But I also like looking at like the eyebrows of the Ardanian and like the facial features. Yeah. It looks like Martin Scorsese as an Ardanian.
What's kind of like Jabba the Hutt was meant to be modeled after Marlon Brando, and I'm like, that's mean.
All right, I'm not gonna stretch it anymore. I am gonna try to do something with this. We'll fix it and we'll do it live there.
Yeah, we'll just stretch it. Yeah, this is them going in to visit the huts. I mean, I do believe this is is this now Hutta, or do you think this is the Smuggler's Moon? I mean, the Smuggler's Moon orbits now Hutta, so
it depends. I think it's now Hutta because in Clone Wars this is there was a similar audience room on Nal Hutta.
Yeah.
But it could be
good notice with the modified B2 battle droid on the far side. He looks cool. He'd been working out or something.
That's a Sly droid. Sly battle droid. Sly poodle droid. And I saw the chat mention this earlier. Like, they better have something with the Shadow Council. They indeed do.
Is this the same room that they met in Andor, or is it similar, or is this the place where they met in Bad Batch? What do you think?
No, it is not the same room at all. Oh, in Andor?
Yeah, the one in Bad Batch probably needed some remodeling. True. I mean, maybe a similar spot.
Are you talking about like when they were like talking about
yeah,
deep substrate foliated calcite?
Yeah.
No, but I think
I'm sure they have just a lot of similar just meeting rooms. But
exactly. Like I was about to say, like, if it resembles anything from the Bad Batch, it's it's an Imperial meeting room. But yeah, we do have a snowtrooper. So,
which I've always loved the snowtrooper masks. Except
is Mount Tantus like a snowy Arctic location?
No.
So this is definitely on an icy planet. I can see the mountains in the back here. It's very snow-capped mountains. So this is certainly a location that is of the Hoth variety.
No, I always loved the snowtroopers look, and then I had someone mention that they kind of looked like the KKK, and then I was like, oh, man!
I can't unsee it now. But you know what? It matches as the Empire. I don't care if you ruin it for me in the Empire. Jesus.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Who's this guy again?
His name is Bob.
Is this
Beardman.
Hoth or Starkiller? It might be good catch. It might be Starkiller. Because, as we know, the First Order is operating out in the fringes. And, shadows, as it were. And they might have, the Shadow Council and the Remnant might have had, some remnant from their Death Star mining days. And just, this is one of those rooms.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but the thing is,
we met this guy
he's got
in Mandalorian, though, with Moff Gideon and the other Shadow Council with Paleo. what Admiral?
Oh, Thrawn's second commander.
Not Pelibata.
Oh my goodness, it's Pelion. Pelion, yes, thank you. Was that Obi-Wan said that?
No, that was Goob.
All right. But I do like that he's kind of like a little disheveled, right? Because this is still they're not truly the Empire anymore. Things are kind of falling apart. They're not as clean cut and all this stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to see who this person is and how this kind of shakes out.
Yeah, for sure. Next, we have the cards. Now, a lot of we had. Damn, I gotta do this again. I see that it is not filling in. I am OCD. Sorry. So the card's blank right now, but Cal during a reaction said, "Do you think it'll be filled in the movie?" And I think so. Like, what's the point? What's the point of handing him a card that's just the silhouette? Is like, we need you to track down this guy. It's like, sure.
Yeah, or the other thing is maybe that's just the back of the card, and you flip them out.
It could be the back of. Oh, you know what? I think this is. I think this is like one of those like tracker pucks things that if you have the card, you don't know who the target is. But if you like insert it into like some kind of like decoder, then it'll show their face in a holo for like anonymity.
Well, okay. So here's the thing though: so this is a real thing that people do and have done, and like the U.S. military does and did, where they put people on playing cards that we were trying to catch, right? Because what do the soldiers do in the barracks, right? They're out there, they're playing cards and all this stuff, and we want them to be able to readily recognize these people, right? They know who they are looking for. That being said, some of those cards are blank because we don't have a photograph of the person. We may have their name, we may have this or that, and you know what? Let me do this.
Well, I do. I think I agree with X-Core and Harith and Eaton on this at least. Like, it's probably a holo readout card.
Could be, but pull up the image I just sent you if you can. I know I'm making you do a lot of stuff.
I mean, 'tis why I'm in the driver's seat. I need to find a way for you to. Man, they need to make OBS like Google Docs. I'll invite you to control things.
Oh, you know what? I actually could do it. I could put on a screen and share just that screen. But I don't know how that would work in your in.
I mean, I have it. I have it up now.
Yeah, so these are the real bounty cards that we used or had in like 2003. To help find people, like like Saddam Hussein and stuff is on here. Like, this is a real thing that they would hand out and people would play with, so they knew who the people were, and they'd have a very easy time recognizing them. But there are blank cards as well, right? Just with
there's
names
also
on them.
information on them.
Yes. And so, we don't know. This could be like the equivalent of one of those blank cards, but this is a real thing that happens, and so I think that's a pretty cool detail to like toss into Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a cool detail, but looking at this card, it doesn't have any info on it. And I'm thinking it might be a thing where it's like a readout.
Yeah. I'm just saying if there's anything that's meant to like hide the information on the card, it like defeats the purpose of the card. of the historical card.
Yeah. For sure.
You flip it over, or maybe there's more cards. She's handing him like 5 cards stacked.
If I remember the trailer correctly, we do see the other side a little bit. But I might be incorrect on that. I just know that, like, within the context of the trailer, within the context of what he has to do, and within the context that he's a bounty hunter, I think it makes more sense that it is blank for anonymity, and that he can only get it through, like, an official device that reads it.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone gets the card, they're not going to know that.
They would know who his target is.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Okay, then we have this gem of a shot.
Come on, that was just a cool scene of just like, he's using it like a power washer on the floor. But that's a hell of a way to disorient people. Especially snow troopers who are like, it's hot, it's really hot. I can't see anything. They can barely see in those masks anyways. In fact, I mean, look at the guy on the left. I don't even know what he's looking at. He's got like his scope. They're just aimed
I think they're both trained at the doorway, right? So that they can like ambush
right at
him.
The doorway. It does. To me, it just looks a little funny. Like he'd walk in and they'd shoot each other.
No, I mean, like, if I take the perspective into account with the way their feet are, they're trained on the doorway, and I need to get more music playing. But I love this scene because it's just like Cal said in our reaction, it's like this is a awesome way to use the flamethrower. This also reminds me of our one shot with Malik, in which I entered the barracks shooting a fire wand, and I was like, so I definitely see the strategic value in opening up with fire and then people waking up to what the hell is going on. Snow troopers without the front cloth, maybe they didn't need it.
Maybe they just put it on for outdoors. I don't know.
I mean, it would burn them. All right. More Sigourney Weaver's character. Looks like she's playing a game of Clue. Or not Clue. Guess Who? She just has everybody flip down.
So she's clearly losing.
And in this scene, she's telling Din, I've got nobody else. I don't know who it is. Who is it? Love the mug. Love the... I suppose, is that an ashtray or is that like a croissant?
Yes, Commander Ward is her name. But like it's Sigourney Weaver in Star Wars. It's just so cool. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I might as well call her Ripley. I'm just kidding.
Do we think old Boba will make an appearance? We could just call him Boba. He could. I kind of hope not. But we'll see.
I think. Do you think he's kind of been like gray listed? Just the way he was openly complaining that they didn't they didn't contact him for season 3 of Mandalorian. Because I feel like what he said in those interviews, I feel like he was putting forth that he is more important to the Mandalorian storyline than Din. I might have had a misreading of his interview there, but
I feel like there are certain actors who want more for their characters than what the story that's being told is calling for. And so that's kind of what I imagine happening. You know what I mean? Like I remember, for instance, Mark Hamill specifically saying that his character had a beginning and an end, but not a middle. And he wanted a middle. No, The Last Jedi just wasn't that. It wasn't supposed to be that. It wasn't trying to be that. But he gets excited whenever he, gets a cameo on something, and so we can see the middle part of his story. I want to see it too. I feel something similar with Boba, and I don't think he should have been called into season 3 of The Mandalorian, because Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian. So I don't know why he would. His place in that story is done, and I'm not saying that he doesn't have a place in any other story, but
if he had a place in that story, his place would be of Infinite Lee trying to clown on the Mandalorians. Right? They land on Mandalore and it's all glassed, and he's like, "This place is useless. Why are you even here? There's nothing here for you."
Yeah, and like in the show, he's making his home with a entirely different culture and stuff. Yeah, I don't see a reason for him to appear in a Mandalorian themed show.
All right, we got Grogu using the Force on a mouse droid, and the subsequent frames being, of course, that he is dismantling this mouse droid, so it looks like he's got a lot more mastery.
Yeah, that's a lot more control.
Now, is this after? So, okay, I'm going forward from this point, making the Boken pilgrimage headcanon right now. Is this after he has been mentored by that Encada del Gormo stand-in?
Yeah, I mean, and that's a picture that's in here, so we can go forward and get to that. But I mean, the big question is, what is it that prompts the pilgrimage? You know what I mean? I do love the off-road tires on the mouse droid, though. Like you gotta.
It's a snow tires.
It's a mountain mouse droid. It's like a field mouse droid. But yeah, the way he disassembles it again makes me feel more like Ram Jamaram skills, because he didn't force pick it up and crush it, and he didn't force pick it up and like tear it apart where you have like metal wrenching and ripping apart. It's like he picked it up and he unscrewed all the components and let it fall apart, which I think is really cool.
He basically
it gives
Jackie
vibes
Chan'd
of like it gives vibes of Mace Windu in the 2D one, where he like rips out all the screws from the B2 battle droids, and then he shoots it at other battle droids.
Let's just go in order. We'll get to the Encada person.
Yep. So this was a scene that we see all the droids running, and we see the Hutt fighters that are flying out. So, and there's a destroyed one that's on the ground somewhere nearby. So there's obviously something going down here, and I'm curious now what maybe. I mean, do you think this? What do you think is the bread and butter of this movie? Is it the Hutt search, or is it the Imperial search, or do they both cross over?
I think it's the Hutts, and I think the inciting incident is in search of the Imperials. So this is where my head's at. And chat, let me know if you agree or disagree. I think the New Republic has set Din out on a hunt for Imperial remnants, namely leadership. And in order to do so, Din has to, look for informants. He needs to squeeze the Hutts for information on those remnants. And so he runs afoul of the Hutts, and that's where we get most of this stuff on Nal Hutta. And I think I suppose the apex or the climax of that is, the Hutts end up after like the arena and after everything that happens ends up, putting a bolo on Din, and I think this is him escaping. And so now,
interesting.
And so now we go back to this. This is the New Republic coming to help Din.
Oh, and getting him out of Nal Hutta. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now you just reversed everything for me. Now it just leaves me to believe that the Hutt thing is like the preliminary journey that happens at the very, very beginning of the film. That's the mission he's on when we start, and he ends up having to be rescued by the New Republic. And then they're like, "We saved you, but you're gonna work for us, and here's what we're gonna have you do." And then the whole Imperial is the whole back half of it. That's now where I'm at.
Slightly. I was the Hutts are the A plot, but the looming thread is the Imperial remnants. So what I was saying was, the New Republic asks Din to hunt down these admirals, the Shadow Council, but he approaches the Hutts for information on their whereabouts. And of course, seeking a transaction, the Hutts ask him to compete in the arena. And without any other details, it kind of terminates into this. He runs afoul of the Hutts. And so that's how Grogu and Din get separated. Din has his helmet taken off, and it looks like he's kneeling before the twins at that point. So the first time he meets the twins, Din and Grogu are together, right? And the second time, the twins has his helmet. They've removed it from him, and he's kneeling. So I think at some point the transaction it was not successful, and the Hutts now like want to own Din.
Okay.
Right. And so like that whole thing with the X-Wings coming in and the entire Hutt complex like gearing for war is Din trying to escape it. And I think that's the climax of the movie, because I don't think, because they're setting up for Heir to the Empire, I don't think that he is going to make significant strides to capturing anybody on the Shadow Council. That's his mission. But in dealing with the Hutts, that's the main conflict.
That would make sense as well, because they said we're trying to stop a war from from happening. Harith put the actual line in there. We need to prevent another war, and that is similar to what is being said in Ahsoka, right? So, yeah, that upcoming war is probably what we'd be looking for in the Heir to the Empire, and this will end up setting it up while still being its own narrative. Hopefully.
And here's the thing: this is how Din and Grogu separate, right? They run afoul, and they're trying to escape. Din does the Din thing, and he's like, "Run! I'll hold down the fort." So he runs off, and they get separated. And now Grogu finds himself alone. And now I'm convincing myself out of Dagobah, and Din is is alone in the swamps, and he meets this stand-in for Ninkata, and he starts to, train in the Force while Din's in captivity, because now Grogu wants to break Din out.
Grogu wants to help him, but he's like, I gotta get buff first,
Yeah.
And so we get a Grogu training arc.
Now, here's where my mind is like, where does he come in?
In my dreams. Oh God, he looks so good. Look at him. Look at our boy.
This was like a key highlight for sure.
I lost it a little bit. I couldn't even speak for a hot minute. He does have a new Anuba, right? Because in the Aftermath book, we find out that Merrick, the one that we all know and love, died. But sometimes you get a new dog.
Actually, you know what?
Archive. That was my reaction.
I actually agree.
I'd rather dream of Embo.
I actually agree with KG here. It might not be a separation due to a last stand. It might be that he runs afoul of the Hutts and Embo is sent to hunt Din down.
If anyone is going to capture Din, I would want it to be Embo. And you know what? Maybe, Embo is hunting him down. Maybe he's doing it for the New Republic. I don't know. We'll see.
I just know that,
he works with both sides. Embo works with both sides and got a full pardon. So I have to believe that he's doing something that's vaguely neutral.
Here's where I'm at with Embo right now, given what I've just said with KG's help. He runs afoul with the Hutts, and Embo is sent to hunt down Din, and that's how they get separated. He brings Din in, and Grogu runs away. That's Din's last stand. Because we also don't see the person that takes his helmet off and kneels him in front of the twins. So I think Embo got Din, delivered him to the Hutts, and then the Hutts force him into arena servitude. Which also explains why he's helmetless, facing a dragon snake. So I like that a lot. This is what the season is all about. Going into this.
Look at his little chin tattoo. Yeah, but this is what you were just talking about. He has his helmet.
Yeah, he's chiding Din now, and he's like, "No one fails the Hutts."
Look at my chins. Look at them.
In Tombstone's I have 2 guns, one's for each of you. This Hutt is like, I have 4 chins, one for each of you. Harris says, so we need to get from here to the finale of the Mandoverse, because I'm assuming they're going to make it easy for film audiences to jump from Mandalorian and Grogu to Filoni's film. Exactly. And so I think for sure the goal in this movie is the Imperial Remnant and the Shadow Council, but I don't think that Din's going to get any of them. He might. I don't know. It's weird. He might make inroads, but then okay, so this is also another possibility. Din might be making inroads to capturing some of the Imperial Shadow Council. This guy that we meet in this meeting room beseeches the Hutts. He's like, listen, we'll pay you this much. to betray Din. And so then that's when the Hutts betray Din. Nothing. It doesn't run afoul of them.
Okay,
but the Hutts betray
betraying Din makes sense.
Okay, this movie is coming together, guys, and then I'm ready to see it in IMAX and be totally wrong. Okay.
You know what? I'm sorry. I will. I'm actually. I'm going to do another disagreement.
Go for it.
Hear me out. There's no separation between Grogu and Mando. That's where we start. They are separated.
Okay.
Grogu is training. He's spending time trying to learn stuff on his own because he's just trying to forge his own path. All right? And so Din is on this mission alone. He gets captured and all this stuff, and then Grogu is the one who pops in to save him.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
So we're actually getting the reverse. This is not, from the jump. Grogu. This is Grogu's mission that we're on, not Din's.
There's one thing that's pushing back against, and that is their first meeting with the twins where they're together. I think you have. Yeah, I think you have the frame.
We'll have to. Yeah. I did have the original frame. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. Or this is like
right
a
here.
story that loops, right? And that's how they are the A plot. They visit them in the beginning and fight, but find out that later that they are part of a bigger part of the plot.
I do like Grogu saving Din. I guess what we have to reconcile
We just need a
is-
lot more agency for Grogu. That's what I want.
And then the frame that I was going to show here is, of course, baby, right now, speed, baby.
He's
It's
come a
cool.
long way since when he was trying to eat him.
You know what
for
I
sure.
find funny about this frame is that the far end Zelen is like driving like a Count Dooku speeder, and and then the huge flatbed is the sidecar. I like when we first saw this, I thought the bigger car was the main speeder, but this guy's driving. Like he has a steering wheel or steel handlebars. Grogu capitalism meets Anzellan capitalism. Yeah, this is a toy right here. And then you press the button and it goes, baby. And Grogu goes, if okay, chat, let me know. If Grogu speaks in this movie, what does he say? Papa.
Bix. And they're like, who's Bix? And they're like, don't worry about it.
Just a girl I gotta go see about on this planet. Batu. Oh, this is the way. That's funny. And Zellens are like, baby, ride speeder. And Grogu goes, this is the way. You missed the frame with Grogu and the cane, but let's talk about it. I actually have a picture of it from when it's dark, but you can see it now, folks. I know it's dark. Let me add a brightness filter to it. Whoa, too much. Okay. So, this is where I thought he was on Dagobah, but and it truly looks like Yoda's Geimer stick. I don't know. two things can be true. I think that going off of Choco's thing, if Choco's thing is true and they start separated, and Grogu's like training, he's like, I want to be stronger, then I think that Grogu could be Dagobah. On Dagobah. Because judging with this frame and the next frame, it just screams Dagobah. Now hear me out. Nal Hutta does have swamps, but if I go back to Clone Wars, Nal Hutta does not have swamp forests.
Yeah, no, that looks different. I mean, but although I will say parts of this frame do look like it could be Os's, maybe.
Yeah, but don't take this away from me. Just kidding. Okay, so like, listen, if you go to like Hunt for Zorro, if you go to Hunt for Zero, and we go to Nal Hutta in Clone Wars, they have a bog, they have swamps, they have uprooted trees and stuff like that, but they do not have a thicket. And so like, this very much looks like a very dense thicket that is present on Dagobah. Nal Hutta doesn't have it. It's very swampy. It's very sparse, right? And so I wonder if I can show this clip and pause it.
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm actually just scrolling through the episode, and I'm looking at Zero's mom, and it's weird. Also, I'm looking at Quinlan's arms. Man.
All right, let me see if I can play this.
I'm
really
getting
quickly.
the vapors.
Hold on, this is Luke. Hold on.
You be more careful.
Let's go to Nal Hutta.
I totally forgot that that episode ends on Teth, of all places.
So if we look at this frame right here, we can see the bog and the swamp nature of Nal Hutta, but we do not see a thicket or a jungle forest, right?
If we
do see
this would go faster.
just a sparse swamp. And then of course here is the dragon snake that we'll see in one of the other trailers. And so to me it doesn't seem like this is Nal Hutta. It's too mossy, it's too jungle like, and it's too thick. It's too, what is that called? It's called dense. And Nal Hutta looks too sparse.
Yep, I agree. I'm with you.
And then the next one is Rada.
Rada. He dual wields axes, and look at him just standing there like a G.
I
Do you think
like
Rada is trapped there, or is this his arena and he's just like, sometimes I like to run the fade with whoever's in here, you know what I mean?
I think
or
this
is this
arena.
an honorable duel?
You know what? I mean, it could be like I was saying before, it could be like this transactional thing where he has to fight in the arena for information. It could be a honor duel. Could be any sorts of things. And I figure since we're doing this, I might as well put in the trailer.
The kid will live centuries beyond me.
All right, so then we have this and that.
I won't always be around to protect him.
Rada. Look at this guy. Dual axes.
Hell yeah.
Dang,
So I'm
that
playing Neo
frame.
3.
His face.
And,
that's like.
Okay,
Bib
look at his
Fortuna.
deltoid. Look at his right deltoid. Look at that. That thing is just beefy.
It is.
Now, one of the coolest things that I never really see is in Neo, you can dual wield axes as a ninja, and so your fighting style is partially up close, but it's mostly different ways of throwing throwing your axes. And so I got lightning imbued axes, and I'm just like, it's just really cool. I feel like Shango, just an
I love that he
god who dual wields, who's the god of thunder, and he dual wields axes.
I love that he still looks like Stinky in the face. That's true. He does.
Yeah.
This is cool as hell. Dang. All right, and this is the. I'm totally like making your screenshots redundant now and just loading up the trailer.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. You know, this works better. But yeah, it's great to have someone to give him the Yoda speeches that he probably misses. Right? He knew Yoda, and I wonder if because. This also does make it feel more like he has his gamer stick that he could have gotten from Luke handing it to him.
Yeah.
Or if he did a pilgrimage to Dagobah to find Yoda stuff. Although Yoda stuff would... it was a pretty lush swamp. It wouldn't last very long. All evidence that he was ever there is probably gone.
I don't know. I mean, if his hut... Okay, let me... And now, like speaking in analogs here, if his hut is purely clay, it would hold up. You know what I mean? Like the way that it's kind of like sandstone or almost kind of formed out of clay and like boughs and stuff, it would hold up. I do think that this person acts as a mentor figure to Grogu. He says, "Are you scared?" I love that Yoda. Like, if this is like in Cara del Gormo, which don't really know, if it is, I love that the Yoda speech patterns comes from this guy teaching him. Oh, you know the Force?
Yeah.
Of course I know the Force. Why are you scared? Who voices this guy? Do we know?
No, not. I don't know. At least not yet.
Scared?
Oh, I also didn't realize Grogu was like, which is funny.
You should be.
All right, this is our dragon snake. Now, I did show you guys the clip from Clone Wars. So, obviously, Din is still on Nal Hutta. But the dragon snake exists on Dagobah as well. But I think because he's no helmet, and the twins have no helmet, has his helmet, then this is like an arena pit, like a pit fight with the dragon snake.
Interesting.
It looks freaking dope.
Do we run?
That's movie quality.
Yeah. I mean, that is artwork. You know what I mean? Like, that's a tattoo that I would get. Look at it.
Yeah. That is also much larger than the one Obi-Wan fights. Because Obi-Wan's able to, like, just kind of, like, stab it in the head. And then the lightsaber is, like, what, 10% of his head? Din looks like a freaking... he looks a lot smaller than Obi-Wan did to that dragon snake. This might be a fully matured one. Obviously one that they would keep in the pits of Nal Hutta, I suppose, in the arena. They might have some rare albino one. That's true. I mean, I just think it like think about Muchi. Muchi wasn't as big as the Rancor in Jabba's palace, So I feel like the pit monsters are just kind of like force fed. I don't know. They just sit there and grow with each passing person that gets fed to them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking more of like, am I just not be old enough? You know what I mean? That's just at a different point in its life cycle.
Yeah. Would you rather have a rancor or a serpent? It depends, right? You can. Here's my thinking. You can.
I mean, my answer is neither. Can you imagine having to feed that thing?
Well, maybe, I don't know. So I'm coming at this with Harith asking, what would you rather face? Because I feel like I thought you can,
like, as a pet.
I feel like speed is more advantageous for the Rancor, but also speed with the Serpent, because right, they can only strike with the vector that they choose. So you can effectively dodge to the side and tangle them up. But then, like, I don't know. I think
I'd rather face a Rancor than the snake, just because I understand. I feel like I could at least understand its movements more. I mean, so that the snake being that size, the speed is going to very much outclass you, but you're also not going to be able to read its movements super well. And
it could also just be very quick.
If it coils near you, you're also just like in striking range forever, wherever you go. And it's not like you can block it. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
well, okay. In spirit of the question, though, are we assuming that we're like a capable fighter that can handle these things? Like, obviously, both Choco and I, in any given situation, probably are not equipped to face those monsters in general. But like, if we are,
and that's kind of
Jedi,
what I'm coming down of it. I feel I'm dying either way. I'd rather die to the Rancor.
like, in the spirit of the question, if I were like a Jedi or if I were Din, I would probably prefer the snake, to be honest.
I feel like when it ultimately kills me, the snake is just gonna swallow me whole, and I'm gonna have to die horribly.
Well,
versus like having been, just chewed once.
If you have Mandalorian implements, you might be able to just like Boba in the Sarlacc. Before the digestive juices get you. Here's my thing: if I dodge a Rancor, it has two limbs that it can flail. If I dodge a Serpent, it's got to coil back up. So I only really have one threat to deal with, a very, very massive, like, quick threat. But, operating under the assumption that I am a capable fighter, Harry Potter sliced off the freaking basilisk's head.
I mean, sure.
Anyways. Where is this? Oh, we got Zeb being Beast of the X-Men. In another hallway scene. Man, we're crawling in hallway scenes in this generation.
Or do we fight?
Who does that to the stormtroopers? That's not Grogu. Obviously, Grogu's inside somewhere.
No. These ones. So yeah, I kind of just like skipped these actions. Don't really have any screenshots here, but these are also not going to be things that. Go ahead.
I know Grogu's training here. He's still in the swamp. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Backdrop is like very Swampy.
Swampy, baby.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Or do we fight?
But we also need to
I like this kid.
wrapping up a little bit.
All right, we saw Zeb. Din's fighting the droids here on Nalhada.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, right? The Hutts
Well, that's an awesome
primarily
shot.
use droids for their protection. You know, that's why we saw
Sav rip.
What are you waiting for?
And then Grogu becomes faster.
Yeah, like I said before, I just really like that scene. You know, I mean,
That's an
Grogu
awesome thing.
takes off, and it's Din trying to catch up to him. You know, I just really want more of Grogu taking the lead and doing his own thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like how it's chroma keying
Let's save
The
the rest
logo.
for after.
so you can see Choco in the title.
Fast and Furious Grogu.
Hey, Choco.
I still don't really like how the logo looks, but it's just grown on me a little bit.
I mean, it's got a certain style.
Let's save the
But
rest
yeah,
for after
that's
dinner.
what we got. Yeah, we end with them eating the cookie, right? Which, you know, I do feel like that's probably going to be at the end of the movie, and we're going to bookend it with him pushing buttons like a curious little kid, and with him defiantly eating cookies like a little kid. You know, meaning he's still that same. He's grown, he's changed, he's a menace, and he can fight. But he still likes cookies, and he's still a child, you know.
Is that Grogu's first words? Family. I like that though. I like that that scene, and then the scene in the beginning where he's pushing buttons is like is the conclusion. It's like, you know, it's after everything that went down. So that's kind of cool. Chat, let us know what you guys think. Where are you at? Let's see. We have 68% with Grogu going on a pilgrimage. 32% said no. But I think for sure we're going to get a separation between the two, and Grogu's going to train. How that manifests, we don't know. But this is the fun of Star Wars. Not the first time Star Wars hid the final scene of the movie in a trailer. Yeah, I mean, it's inconsequential. It's not spoiling anything. I bet everything in the trailer is from the first half of the film. I mean...
And that's how they do a lot of it, you know.
Yeah, for the most part. I'm just so excited to have a new Star Wars movie to see. Ain't that the truth? Like going to the theaters. You know, the last theater experience, at least for Choco and me, was Revenge of the Sith, and that was great. Do we think Embo turns good by the end of this?
Embo was never bad, okay? Embo was Embo. Embo was a bounty hunter. Embo responded and did bounty things. So I still refuse to say that he was good or bad. The first time we meet him, he's fighting with the Jedi against, you know, the pirates, right? We have seen him go up against them. We've seen him try to catch Count Dooku. You know what I mean? And we at least know that he got pardoned by the New Republic for helping, you know, for helping them. So, yeah, he's not bad. Less
Okay.
turns, but stops going after Din. That I don't know.
I forgot I had this.
Good old Unk, good old Unk Embo, and his pet Merrick.
The last time I saw Star Wars in theaters was Return of the Jedi in London in 2023. Chites. I actually didn't even attend that, to be honest, Harith. I remember everybody went to see that. I forgot what I was doing.
And if they remember that Merrick died per one of those aftermath interludes. Yeah, I mean, it could just be a different Anuba, you know.
Or they just didn't die.
Merrick who?
No, I mean, I bet you anything they're gonna do the Maul thing, and they didn't show.
And he's
the body.
gonna have spider legs.
Yeah, they didn't show the body. There's just a bunch of cybernetics down below where it's cropped. I don't know. What is the lifespan of Anuba? I don't know.
Oh. Also, I said, let's see. X-Core said, I wonder who's making those space macaroons. You buy them in packages from the Hut Scouts. There's Hut Scout girls. And
what are those cookies called? We have the Genosians. Are those the Samoans or whatever? Oh, samosas. What are the
Samoas? But they renamed them.
So we have.
Dave once said in an interview for Rebels that he wanted Embo to appear and was going to make the lifespan of the dog long. Maybe he forgets Aftermath and just keeps Merrick alive. Yeah. I mean, I've been waiting because I know how much Dave loves Embo. I've been waiting for him to put him in something.
So Phoenix Kage asks, why do Star Wars fans not like Legends Star Wars to be included in movies or series? I think it has less to do with Legends being included and more what stories will make sense in continuity. Because a lot of Legends have come into Star Wars with zero friction.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to kind of parse that because it feels like there's like 4 or 5 separate camps altogether. You know, there's some people who love Legends who hate everything else, and so they don't want their Legends to touch it. There's some people who will get mad if Legends gets included because there is things that have to be changed from the expanded universe because a lot of what they did just didn't fit in canon, you know, and that's always been the case. I don't know why people pretend like it was something new, you know. Especially if you watch behind the scenes of the Clone Wars, like they talk about all the time.
Yeah, George Lucas either took from Legends or changed Legends lore, like on the regular.
Yeah, Dave Filoni has said something about not wanting to bring things from Legends into canon if it's not going to be the thing, if there's no reason for it to be. So it sounds like his goal is not to do it cheaply or not to do it just so that you can be like, oh, it's the guy, you know.
Was that his?
And I stand by that.
That was his Star Wars show interview where he was talking about how, you know, Legends is a fun little toy chest, right, that they have that they could pull things out of, and they don't want to pull things out of it just to kind of do it. Like, it has to make sense story-wise. The character has to fit into the story, and essentially the story that they
heavily
do.
Change a character to bring him in, then it's not worth bringing them in.
Yeah,
make a new character.
X-Core says the end of the movie is am I going to say this in Jim Ross's voice? By God, it's Quinlan Ross with a steel chair. Like Din's in the arena fighting Rada, and then like he's like on the back end, and he's about to, you know, do a finisher, and then like dun 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 dun, and it's Quinlan Vos just running down the ramp. Quinlan Vos! Quinlan Vos! All right. Last question before we wrap this up. If Din gets saved WWE style, and the theme song that plays to the person that's coming to the ring to help him out is John Cena's theme, who is coming to save Din to John Cena's theme?
I mean, Ben Quadraneros.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we can't see him really.
No. I would say I would love it if the person who has to save him is, like all of a sudden a hat flies into the ring and hits him in the head.
Oh, Ben Quad is dead. R.I.P.
My thought would just be like, what if we were expecting a fighter to save him, but instead, like a pod racer goes. Hey,
that was pretty good.
Come with me if you want to live.
Last impression, Sebulba's pod.
Yeah.
EJ says Din's gonna yeet. One word. No, man. Last impression. Sebulba's pod. I'm gonna do Sebulba drive by. All right, guys. That'll do it for this episode of Died in the Force. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys always make our episodes unique and special. I want to play this like because it has a title that I think will let us know how we feel about chat.
Are you allowed to laugh?
Never mind. It's completely irrelevant.
What?
What did I just say?
Guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We're excited about this movie. We'll be back next week, as always. Looking forward to our Versus video series as well. And stay classy. That's it. On to the next one.
For Grogu for life.
We are all the Din.
And